pair of restaurateurs. So, anybody that's interested in opening a restaurant should be tuning in because these gentlemen right here are really doing it in the community. So let me get started by reading their bios. Vincent DePaul was attracted to the so-called gangster lifestyle at a very early age. Sex, money, drugs, and violence. And in his early 20s, he created Celebs, a t-shirt brand that made a huge impact throughout the hip hop and Hollywood industry. And he went on to sell millions of t-shirts worldwide. But at the age of 30, he lost everything and became morally, financially, and spiritually bankrupt. It was through this tough time that he was introduced to his first fresh pressed organic juice ever, and it changed his life forever. With this new awakening, he decided he wanted to make a difference in the world, so he created Gangster Vegan. At first, it was just a t-shirt, and for every t-shirt sold, he fed an inner city child a free, hot, organic vegan meal, which still goes on today. In 2014, he opened up his first restaurant in Norristown, PA called Gangster Vegan Organics. He currently has 5 locations, 3 in Pennsylvania, 2 in Maryland, and 1 food truck. He is dedicated to serving love and improving the quality of life worldwide. Everybody, thank you for joining us, Vinny, Gangster Vegan. Our second guest today is the founder of Sprout. Enzo Fikru was always a food enthusiast and often cooked for with his family as a child. The love for food and the kitchen transcended into Sprout Natural Choice Restaurant. The passion to create and innovate has always been the driving force for him. Now, with 4 years in business in the great community of Catonsville, Maryland, Sprout has transformed the area with a well-established brand known for its local and classic recipes with a vegan twist, an array of options for raw juices and smoothies, an excellent customer service, and a healthy choice for Marylanders. The passion to create Sprout was fueled by Enzo's transformation to a more healthy lifestyle, which led him to become vegan. After this lifestyle change, Enzo noticed the lack of vegan and vegetarian options in Maryland, so he decided to create one. And Sprout Natural Choice was established in 2014. Not only has Sprout created a lane of its own with its vegan menu, but it has been instrumental in incorporating the community in its efforts. Sprout hosts local artists of 2D and 3D design, paintings, and other artwork to display their work in the restaurant on a monthly basis, and many of the artists are selling their work that are on display. The restaurant is the centerpiece for many vegans and vegetarians in the area. Thank you again, Enzo, for joining us. Wow, amazing. Amazing.
Thank you.
All right. So how has the journey been? So we understand what happened with you, Vinny, and the lifestyle that you had. Talk about some of the challenges and successes that you had coming up with, from being a gangster to Gangster Vegan and opening up the shops.
Yeah, it was it was a day and night transformation for me. I was never out during the daytime. I was in the club every night, popping bottles, just in a dark lifestyle for so long. And I hit rock bottom, lost everything, and through that had a profound organic transformation, which eventually led me to juicing, led me to veganism, and led me to places I probably never would be at, were like corny to me, like going to a vegan restaurant or going to a juice bar. And, when you're in a certain lifestyle, you don't even really think of those things. We're going back 15, 20 years ago. And my journey led me to a juice bar, led me to a vegan restaurant, and it led me to be out during the day and light time and sunlight and fruits and vegetables, and really opened me up. First, it was a humbling experience. You go from making $2,000-3,000 a day for 8-9 years straight to $0 a day. And then build myself back up. I started working at a juice bar and a vegan restaurant for free for food and juice. I was couch surfing. I was sleeping in gyms and things like that. So really going through maybe a year and a half of profound transformation. and then got into the vegan lifestyle. And I started working, working for food. It wasn't for the money or the food. It was for what I was gaining by being at these restaurants and working for them. And what I got out of that, I was like, man, I need to bring this back to my community. I was in California for about 10 years, Los Angeles. From Norristown, Pennsylvania. It's a small, like, subsidiary. It's a suburban area right outside Philadelphia, a very diverse place. And I was like, man, like my hood needs this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool to be in Hollywood and climbing trees and doing yoga and eating in Cafe Gratitude all day. But once I came down off of that, I was like, wait, who's bringing it to the hood, really? Who's bringing it to my community that I grew up in? Yeah, it was a long journey. Like, not long because it happened fast, but it was a lot of elements to get to a restaurant. I started out of a house. I started selling juice and food out of the house like it was drugs. And long lines outside the house, and neighbors calling the cops because they think we're selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? And,
why the Gangster Vegan brand? Why that name?
Because 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when I really embraced the veganism lifestyle, I thought it was corny. When I heard vegan before that, I was like, that's feminine, it's corny, it's hippie, it's a certain I coined it with a certain demographic, yoga mom, a rich Beverly Hills person. Like, I always, like, when I heard that word, I put it to a certain demographic. And I just made a funny T-shirt because I'm tatted up, and I was still listening to certain music, pulling up to these vegan restaurants. I was still like blowing trees out the window, and people were like, "Oh, you're vegan?" I started getting the reverse of it, like, "Oh, you vegan? Like, you don't look vegan." I'm like, I'm getting the reverse of normally when you like, what a vegan looks like. So they were giving it to me, and I was like, well, gangsters can be vegan too, and I just made a funny shirt. It was a funny shirt, because I have a T-shirt background. I started making gangster vegan T-shirts, and people started asking me, where did you get that shirt? Where'd you get? And I'm like,
okay, so
so
okay.
I'm like, here we go again with the T-shirt thing. And I just wanted to redefine what it is to be gangster, because as a child, I grew up glorifying. I'm Italian, so I glorified the mob, gangster flicks, Al Capone, all that stuff, and then gangster rap, gangster music, and everything was gangster. Like, that ain't gangster. You gangster. So I just kind of wanted to redefine that,
Okay, great, awesome. Thank you for that, Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
Enzo, what was that journey like?
Well, it was all love, and my whole journey began with following.
Oh, you weren't a gangster?
Nah. Or a wankster. So it all started off with just looking up to my older brother. He changed his eating habits to veganism, and that happened about 8 years ago. And I started doing a lot more digging and researching on what vegan really is. And it's just something inside of me just always told me that us humans are the only creatures that cook our food, and that basically eat processed food and stuff like that. And it just makes sense to me that we really supposed to not be eating animal products at all. And we are basically observing their conscience and their agony, their sickness, and everything that the animal was going through. You're basically putting that into your body, and it's basically taking you off your element. So once I learned that part, I was doing a lot of traveling, like what Vinny was saying, to California. And it's crazy what you said, was because it lined up to everything that I wanted in life. When I went to California, it's just abundance of places that have vegan foods and raw juices, and it was very welcoming, very bright, very friendly, and I just felt alive. I felt like it was a piece of that missing from in here in Baltimore, Maryland. So when I come back, it was more of, sorry about that, it was more of like moms and pops, the chicken, fried chicken, hip hop chicken, and so on and so forth. And I was like, man, we need this back home. So, and then to be honest with you, when I came back, it was just Land of Kush. That's the only thing. So I'll go with you guys.
Land of Kush, right? That's
Kush.
if folks don't know, I'm one of the owners of the Land of Kush. So that's what Sprout is talking about.
So
Enzo's talking about Land of
Kush. And it was everything was basically spread out and within like 12-mile radius from each other. And I was like, I'm not the only one feeling this way. I'm not the only one needing a good, happy, healthy vegan meal. So, I started just asking the Most High, like, is this my purpose? Is this what I want to do? And started doing more and more reading and researching and planning food. And I always had the love of cooking. It was just the matter of what to cook and what to offer people. And then the light just turned on. It was like, this is my purpose. This is what I want to do. And Sprout came about. And I was actually driving on the highway. And I was like, what should I call this place? What should I name it? What should I name it? So it was, and then it emerged to me because it was a stage in my life. It was growth. I was basically sprouting into a new person. I was growing into a new me and transitioning to that. So it just came to me. It was like Sprout. I was like, oh my God, I'm calling my wife. First thing I did was call my wife, and I was like, babe, I got the name. She's like, what? I was so excited. She's like, what is it? I said, Sprout. She said, what, the kids channel? I was like, no, not the kids channel. I'm like, wow, you're the wrong person to talk to. So I'm like, it's not that, but I said, and then I put the natural choice into it to kind of give it a little bit more flavor and give it a little more direction of what Sprout is really about. And it's all wholesome, natural, raw food, 100% vegan food. So that's how it came about.
The name is everything. Okay. Again, another Gangster Vegan turns to Sprout. Exactly. Talk about the challenges. Let's talk about the challenge of opening up the restaurant. And with you, Vinny, you have a franchise that you're selling. So that's how you're getting locations open. Talk about what your challenges were opening up your first location to what's going on right now, and you have a food truck.
Yeah. Oh man. Definitely a challenge. I mean, I had a t-shirt business for 9 years, so transitioning out of that into the restaurant business, man, all the little permits and the little licensings and the little license this, permit that, construction. If I know what I knew now, I wouldn't have spent so much on the construction in the beginning. Landlords. Oh man. I was eager in the beginning because I had God credit. I went from being, up here to down here, and at the time I had no credit. I'm a 2-time felon. I had no credit, and I always say, like, I work off of God credit. Like, I kind of go where God sends me. And I was working off of God credit, sent me to this location. They didn't do any kind of background check, nothing. Gave me 6 months free rent. And so I was eager to get in there, but yeah, I mean, bathroom, ADA, bathroom, this, that, the third, and surf save. And man, being excited and just serving food, you don't really think of like, oh, I got to do all these little things. Like you see that poster behind Enzo. I had no idea about all these labor laws.
Right.
Tax, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was very challenging, very, very challenging. It almost took the mission, the purpose out of it for me, but I persevered. We opened our first location. We're going on 6 years now. So, but I opened the first 2 myself, and even employees, I was blessed with some great employees for a long while, but managing people is not my you know what I'm saying? Like, managing a human being, I'm sure both of y'all know, man. You're trying to deal with humans, and humans are dealing with things, and it's a lot. It's a lot of moving parts that go into a restaurant.
Is that how you got into selling the franchises? Because you didn't want to deal with the human
resources?
Okay.
Well, not just that. My mission when I did it wasn't to be in the restaurant forever. That wasn't my passion. My mission was to feed the world. So I figured I can't, I'm not a millionaire. I wasn't sitting on all this money. So I was like, I can't open up 100 of these myself, but if I let it go, if I give it out to other people, you know, they can carry on the mission, and we can open up more faster, and we can serve meals. You know, I just wanted to improve the quality of life through food. So, you know, having more locations and more owners made more sense for me, because a lot of people can eat off of it. The owners, their family, their employees, their customers. You know, it would take me forever to get to Baltimore and open one, but it took somebody else,
Right.
you know, within a year to do it. So,
and the branding is important, so people
yeah.
are gonna go after the brand. Enzo?
So what was the question again?
What was the journey like with opening your restaurant? Because you only have one location, right?
Oh wow, yeah. So the
Challenges.
journey of it,
The challenges, yes.
man, the challenge. So first off, coming into opening a restaurant, I didn't know jack about ownership. I didn't know anything about nothing. So I put my faith into other people, and I learned that from at the very beginning. That was the most dangerous thing that you could ever do. So I put my faith into other people, and I'm like, you do this, you do that. Well, I just watch you guys. And when we first opened up, we got overwhelmed by customers. It was a post on the newspaper, and it was basically a big anticipation of people in the community being. I believe at that time it was the first vegan restaurant in the Baltimore County, so it was like a big thing. This was about 6 years ago, so we had a lot of people waiting for us, and we did one soft opening a day. Well, it was a Sunday, which the restaurant, the first grand opening was Monday. We did a soft opening for about 6 people, and that was like really my first time seeing all the food being created. And I've wrote this, and I've never even tasted this food before. It was just everything was just all like not prepared at all. And I was just hiring people from Craigslist, and I'm like, you have a kitchen experience? And they tell me yes, and I'm like, okay, you're on board. So I was just plugging people in here and there, here and there. And next thing you know, as soon as the door opened, it was hectic. It was chaos, and everything was just going downhill. Things weren't coming out right.
What was some of the things that happened that was going downhill? Was it your employees weren't able to handle? Your systems weren't in place?
I hired one individual, a young lady, and I gave her the title of the manager. She was the manager because she gave me all this story of how she was a master chef and vegan chef. She was a baker. She was this. She was that. I can walk on water. You know how it is. You don't meet them. You meet the representative. So
right.
I put all my trust in her, and I'm like, I damn near told her like, yo, you the owner of the Sprout. I'm not even the owner. You was it. So when it opened up, it was just kind of like everybody was pretty much stuck. Like there was no preparation of how to mainstream stuff. People making smoothies. Within a month or so into that whole thing, I mean, I didn't even have babysitters, so I had my 2 boys. I didn't have no babysitters. We bring them in. I find my son going into somebody's table, eating fries from their chairs, like a customer's food. He's going to their customer food and eating their fries off the table. I mean, reviews was going bashing me, and I called my mother and I was like, Ma, I think I'm closing this door. I can't do this no more. I quit. This is like 1 month in. And I was like, I can't do this restaurant thing. It's driving me crazy. She said, and I'll never forget it. She told me, she said, you know what? You came a long way for you to throw in the towel. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, people around you are not going to believe within you. They're not going to believe in you to make this wheel,
Okay.
You know, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just I guess your bandwidth is something's going on there. But my next question is going to be, what would you recommend? Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now. What would you recommend for people who want to start out? Because I know here at the Landing Kush, we get that all the time. People want to come in, and it seems like they want us to plan their entire venture, and it's kind of like, you gotta. What would be that one thing that you recommend that any new or aspiring restaurateur do before they open up their location? What should they be doing?
First thing is believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. And that second thing is do your research.
Do your research, right? And the research is not just us. I mean, you get, sometimes you got to do some legwork. We can't give you everything because everybody's journey is different.
Absolutely, yes. And believe in yourself. Do your research and location.
Yes. What would you say?
I would say go work at a restaurant first.
Go work at a restaurant first, right? Get the experience,
like,
get the idea. Is that what you want to do all day long?
Like, I wouldn't say like, yo, give me all the answers. You know what I'm saying? Like, come into your restaurant and say, give me all the answers.
Oh, we get it all the time.
Yeah, I feel like, no, can I come back here and can I work for free for 3 months? You know what I'm saying? That would be a better move. Can I come work and shadow y'all? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would say go work at a restaurant, a vegan restaurant, if you're trying to open up a vegan restaurant, especially while you're building yours out, you know what I mean? That's probably the best kind of thing. For us, when people buy into the brand or license out, they come train with us. So they get to actually feel it and see it and be a part of it, before they jump into it. So they're not as overwhelmed, it's very overwhelming.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. It's one thing. Greg said it the other day when we was talking. It's one thing when you're cooking, for a few people, but do you want to cook all day long every day? It's a whole nother and then you're moving on to catering and things like that. It's not what people think. It is a business,
and it doesn't stop when you You guys all know when you have
and we live above it. So
yeah, when you have a popping business, it don't stop. It
just keeps going and going.
Really?
This is perfect timing. We got somebody that wants to know thoughts on the carnivore diet. This question is coming from my channel, Naijha Speaks, which is broadcasting live on there. What are your thoughts? And how do you respond when people say vegan food, plant-based food isn't real food? That if you're not eating animals, you can't possibly be eating any food. So it's basically what Taylor Marshall was saying, thoughts on a carnivore diet.
Yeah, well, I moved to LA in my early 20s. I lived out there from 20 to 30 years old. And that was the first time I ever heard the word vegan, or might have heard vegetarian before that, but not that much. And living in California, I heard it a lot. And I was like, vegan, like I thought people were throwing off, people were weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of man doesn't eat meat, especially as a man? I was always like, what kind of man doesn't eat meat? Like, you soft, you a sissy. Like, I had all these preconceived notions, you know what I'm saying? But I was very angry and very violent and high anxiety and stress. And when I stopped eating animals, you know what I mean? That all switched for me, like day and night, you know what I mean? When I stopped eating death and flesh and blood and the anxiety and the stress of the slaughter of the animal, I didn't act so animalistic, you know what I mean? I was like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas, like I was jumping over counters, putting around people, like, you talk to me any type of way, like my fuse was like that, and I don't credit all of that to the food, but majority, I probably say 80% of that was from eating death and flesh, you know what I mean? And living a deathly, fleshly environment. But where I'm at now, like, I don't judge people like who eat meat. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe, I don't believe people. I don't believe it's a cardinal sin, or maybe it is. They say thou shalt not kill. I feel if we're eating like gods, like we're eating like a God meal, there's no really reason to eat or like to kill something to eat it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I got you.
Like my point of view,
Well, I understand.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts about vegan food not being food?
Oh, vegan food not being food?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Enzo, you take it.
No, I was gonna say I agree with everything what Vinny was saying as far as just taking this animal that's God's creation, that's living, and once you slaughter it, you're taking in his sickness, his agony, and the torture that he went through. So that's why we see so many people going in with anxiety attacks and high blood pressure. So you are what you eat at the end of the day.
Yeah.
With the question, vegan food being boring or being fake is like this. That doesn't make any sense at all. So that's another reason why. That's another reason why when I created this whole menu, I made it towards what we were used to eating, as like a sub, chicken nuggets, and put the whole spin around it, where you can come in and you won't miss having a cheesesteak, but a lot of people just blown by it. They take their first bite and look at me in my eyes and be like, "You telling me this is vegan? Are you freaking serious right now? This cannot be vegan." So, vegan. I mean, those people that saying it, there are people that haven't opened up their minds and tried a vegan food, or haven't been into an establishment that offer vegan.
That's what I'm saying. They haven't had the right vegan food. They ain't been
right. They have this impression that it's they have this impression that it's a rabbit food. But if you think of whole foods, whole plant-based foods, you're talking about fruits, vegetables, grains, beans, legumes, nuts, and seeds, and you're seasoning stuff with herbs and spices anyway that are plants. So so I get offended because they're saying all of our restaurants we're not serving real food. So I always have to ask that question when we're on here, so that people, if you're not vegan or you don't understand the lifestyle, then you know what I'm saying. Well, this individual is saying that his blood sugar levels are all over the place as a vegan. We're saying that trying to get it figured out, though. Yeah, and that's understandable because everyone's body responds differently to certain foods. So I always recommend, they got dietitians, they got nutritionists. There is a site, nutritionfacts.org, and that's this type of thing that this gentleman is going through. Definitely, I would say you need to be working with somebody that is plant-based certified, vegan certified, that can help you through that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, there's different levels. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you
different levels. I'm sorry. I was going to say all vegan food is not all healthy either.
Right. All vegan food is not healthy. That's why I say plant-based foods.
That have a lot of sugar and stuff like that. So you have to. We live in the days of there's information within the sleight of your fingers within Google. Asking Google. So it's just a matter of just doing a little bit of research of what type of foods you should eat based on your health issues, based on your diet, based on what you're trying to accomplish.
Right. I definitely say, dietitians, registered dietitians can help with that, or should be able to help with that. They're certified and they've learned. So you really got to work with them and figure out where your imbalances are. And if you're getting all the nutrients that you can get, you got to eat the rainbow. Some of us are just eating French fries, all day long. So, yeah. And, okay. At least his father, may he rest in peace. The pandemic, how is it affecting each of you? So we're 2.5 months in? It started in March, right? What's been going on? I know here at the Land of Kush, initially we were down. We're still down in revenue. We just had to make moves and move things around and cut back on stuff and implement new things to kind of stay open. So what's been going on in your worlds?
Yeah, we closed 1, 2, 3 locations down. We're only, right until today we had just one location up and running, curbside only, revenue down. Just took a hit, a timeout. That's how I call it. I think one of our restaurants might just be closing permanently, because of this. It was a big hit,
Which restaurant is that?
It's in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was one of our smaller stores. It was a very small location.
Okay.
It was like our smallest revenue generating store anyway. So a hit like this kind of just like wiped it out a little, but I mean, on the other side, we were opening a new restaurant in Riverdale, Maryland today. I believe.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, because at the end of it, it's like through this, a lot of people are in the health and wellness now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's stuff that it took something like this. But so now we're starting to see like now a spike, like a spike in the demand. In the beginning it was like a shock and a shift, but now they're like, oh wait, hold on, we need some juices, we need some salads. So now it's like, and I could imagine that in the next year to come, it's going to be even more spike, because we don't do any cooked food. We're 90% raw. We only use rice and beans and quinoa. So we're more like for the health, like the health aspect of it. Still flavorful, very flavorful.
Oh yeah. I had a couple of the salads and stuff, and I had that tuna, the dehydrated tuna sandwich. It was really good too, and the juices, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
So, but it's just a shift. We got a shift. We're still thankful and grateful. We're still breathing. Still here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Enzo, I know we talked a couple of times. What's going on over there?
It's an experience that I never thought I would experience at all in my lifetime.
Caught everyone off guard.
It feels like a movie. It feels like a movie that I'm in.
I say that all the time.
I walk out and go to the stores and I'm seeing everybody mask, everybody social distancing, and I'm afraid to say that I don't even think we're going to be back to the regular life that we used to. And by the saying that, it's definitely have taken a big dip into the business, and we feel it every day. The first 2 months was definitely the hardest month because everybody was very unsure how the virus was coming about, how you can contact it.
Right.
And everybody was just real scared and staying home, and we closed by 1 day throughout the whole pandemic. And then we cut down our hours. And then we was trying to get a feel for how things were going to work out. Whether it's going to be lunchtime, it's going to be busy. Dinner time, we wasn't sure. So we just started playing with different times, and then we kind of got it down pat to saying, the evening times are where people want to just kind of step out and get curbside, come call in and pick up. I started offering delivery services. But just try to stay ahead of the curve and still stay afloat. Because if you're going to just keep doing the same thing and thinking that this is all going to be over with soon, you're going to sink. So you just have to adjust and start doing things with a fashionably manner and just a business mindset.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody just got to navigate.
Also giving comfortability to the staff, and the staff were very unsure.
Right.
Because they were risking their lives.
Right.
I have a couple of staffs. They go home to their parents, and their parents are elderly, and they at a vulnerable stage of their life, and I respect that to them for coming in, and they're just giving me 100%, and I appreciate them coming in and doing their work at this type of time. So
that's a blessing.
We just have to stick together.
Exactly. So sproutnaturalchoice.com, and Vinny, what's the Gangster Vegan?
Oh, gangstervegan.com.
Gangstervegan.com. We have the question of websites, and I also put the landofkush.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Tuning in to we're at Jane Unchained News. Thank you for allowing us the platform. We're talking to Vincent DePaul and Enzo Fikru about their journeys through veganism and being restaurateurs. So thanks everybody for tuning in. If you have any questions, please ask the questions now. We're past the 30-minute mark, so I just wanted to give a shout out to some of our sponsors. Thank you, Veg Fund, A Welfare World, and Women Funders and Animal Rights. We appreciate your support. If it wasn't for you, we definitely wouldn't be on this platform having this conversation. Not this one, probably some other one, but appreciate you. Download the free Veg Starter Guide, African American Vegan Starter Guide.com by Tracy McQuirter. It is free. If you're not vegan, if you're curious about being vegan and you want to know more information, African American Vegan Starter.com. It is free. Doesn't cost you anything. All right. My next question: any upcoming projects that you're working on? Anybody got a cookbook, a movie, anything like that? Nothing.
Well,
Just
yes.
Oh yeah, you do. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This whole thing that I'm in is a whole project because I got to think ahead of how to revamp everything because this is a pandemic, a virus that hit a reset button on everything. When I say everything, it means from the way staff members operating from day to day. Everybody's kind of like right now laid back. I really don't want to, we do things by a professionally manner, but at the same time, we're really laid back at the moment now. Like certain things that we used to do that I used to be really strict about, I'm kind of like, sorry, you don't have your uniform on today. It's cool as long as you're here to work. We're not having people coming in anyway. So there's certain things that I'm really laid back on.
Right.
So and it's when you lay back, some things can really slip out of your hands and be a big problem when the doors are open. And if some customer, if a staff is running late, I'm like, it's okay, whatever. So I have to prepare myself for this big reset. It's kind of like reopening it all over again because we started coming in 2 hours later than what we used to. So we have to readjust coming back at, earlier in the day, staying later at night.
Right.
The whole training thing, whole revamping. So I might have to do another rehiring, hiring new staff because some of the staff members that used to work here might not even be coming back because I went from having 12 staff to 4. I had to cut back a lot. So I don't know if they're on the sideline waiting for me to call them, or they already find another job, or some people tell me that they get paid more staying home than working.
Yeah, we've heard that too. I mean, with us cutting back, and a couple of people just jumping shift because they were, anxious and nervous about the whole working in the restaurant. Yeah, we're in the same boat, and we hear the same thing. So it is a project, to your point.
Absolutely.
Vinny, any projects?
Yeah, so I launched, this is something I wanted to launch before the pandemic, but in the business of things and the everyday fast pace, things got slowed down. So I have an opportunity to really launch it. It was Gangster Vegan Feed the Block. We've been giving out free meals, probably say in the last 2-3 months.
That's the video you sent me?
Yeah, that's the video.
I'm gonna show that video once you're done. I'm gonna show that video once you finish talking, okay? So people
we probably gave out over 5,000 meals in the last 2.5 months. We've been giving out bags of organic produce. We probably gave out close to 2,000 bags of produce in my hometown and in Philadelphia. We really just been gathering donations and just giving out food. We're on a mission to just keep feeding people. There's a lot of people in my town, in my community, that don't have access. One, my town is a food desert, so they don't have access to fresh fruits and vegetables, period. You know what I'm saying? But now a lot of people are losing jobs and they can't even afford food, period. So we just been playing our part and giving out fresh produce and giving out meals. I also have a digital product I'm about to launch. It's like a course, an online course. We show you how to make all our food from Gangster Vegan Organics in your own home.
Oh, nice.
Sauces and desserts and toppings and salads. And I teach you the difference between juicing and blending and things like that, dehydration. And it's something I've been also on the back burner, just sitting around, that I figured now is a good time to launch this so people can learn. It's one thing to be like, oh, I'm vegan now, but I always say the power is making all the stuff in your own home and the knowledge, like I can give you a juice all day. I can make smoothies for you all day, but the power is in you doing it yourself. So
right.
Yeah, I have a Gangster Vegan Get Right digital product coming. And I started selling herbs, teas, and trees.
Yeah, I just saw Niccolo.
Yeah.
That.
And to readjust, you know what I'm saying? It's a readjust period. So
here's let me show a photo of you in front of your Gangster Organics store, and then we'll show the video of you giving out the food. Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta share my screen for that. It's a real short video. All right. Let me see. Oops. Okay. I don't know if everybody could see that. Can y'all see that?
I don't see nothing.
You don't see nothing? Okay, 1 second. Let me stop that. That's the thing with this share. I couldn't find your oh. All right. Let's get back to that. We are sharing. Share screen. Yeah, I can't find it.
It's all good.
It's in a little movie thing, and it's not in one of the tabs. So yeah,
It's all good.
that's why I needed a link. But okay, well, Benny sent the video of how he was doing his giveaways. It's a good thing that you're doing that. We appreciate that. The next question. What are some of the best sellers on your menu? I always forget to ask that question. What are the best sellers?
Go ahead, Enzo.
Well, we have a few things. First thing is the vegan crab cake, of course. And living in Maryland, you know, you have to have a staple crab cake, and people love the vegan crab cake. That's definitely our top seller, followed by the chicken cheesesteak. You got the chicken cheesesteak that comes with peppers, mushrooms, onions, with a vegan mayo, vegan cheese, big hefty sub. We love that a lot. And another thing that sells really, what people actually love about us is we come up with different varieties of specials. So we try to basically keep the customers happy. We have a lot of repeated customers that come in on a daily basis. So if they always going to see the menu, they're going to get tired of it and going to go elsewhere and what have you. So we don't want to burn them out by just having just the same repeated things. So I come up with these specials. And on Thursday, which is today, I always make a vegan crab mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, that's good. I like that.
Making me hungry.
Crab crack. We call it crab crack.
Crab crack. Yeah.
So those are the things that sell. Yeah.
We can't if we change anything on the menu, people get upset. Like we've been running the ribs ever since we take that off, people will have a riot up in here. Like we can't take off anything, man. We tried to take off a couple of things and people send us nasty emails and stuff. I'm like, look, everything can't stay. Like, you know, we took off spinach lasagna and eggplant, but we got all this hate mail, and so we had to bring one back. It's just crazy with that. Like they want everything on the menu.
Just having a restaurant, that's another thing I always learn is like you can't please everyone at all. Like you cannot be a pleaser to everyone. Everyone can't be pleased, and you try to do the best you can, but at the end of the day, you got to stick to what works and what you want to do, because
you hear that, customers? We can't do everything. What's some of your favorites at the store, Benny?
Yeah, so our top seller is the iPapi burrito bowl. It has walnut taco meat, cashew nacho cheese, a cilantro date dressing, pico de gallo, avocado, pickled jalapenos. That's like hands down. Like if we could just sell that all day, like that would be because it's like Chipotle. So it's like a Chipotle bowl, but it's vegan, and you know it's the most relatable because I probably say 80 to 90% of our customers are not vegan. You know, they're transitioning or.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, that's the same with us. Like, you having that also at your shop, Enzo? Well, the majority of your customers not vegan.
Once these customers started tuning into like what the hell, folks over knives and these documentaries on Netflix, the first thing they do the next morning is come into our doorstep. Like, oh my God, I'm so scared. I don't want to eat no more meat anymore. I want to turn my life around. I just left the doctor's office and he told me I have to change the way I eat. And the first, people come talk to us like we doctors most of the time. I I have a headache. I have a stomach pain.
Yes. So I think we all go vouch for that. Like that's like we become the uncertified doctors. You know, I've had stuff from all of y'all. I like to create your own salads at Sprout. I love it. Like that's my go-to. And that crab mac when I'm, indulging in certain things if I'm not on like this whole fitness regimen. But I love that. And Vinny, I had about 3 of the salads. I mean, I know there's like this walnut meat thing that you have from salad. Yeah, that one.
And then we do the tuna, the sunflower seed tuna. Yeah, that's my favorite too.
Those are good ones too.
And our juices, the Troop juice. That's our number one juice. Pineapple, it's pineapple, orange, green apple. Yeah, any juice really. Like we can't keep the juices on the rack.
If there was a documentary that you would recommend, I don't know if any of you watched any documentaries, but have you watched a documentary or read a book that actually influenced or enhanced your understanding of this lifestyle?
Yeah, I watched Earthlings.
Wow.
And that was like it, and I was like already on the verge of transitioning, but like when I watched that, I was like, yo, that was deep, man. That was a deep documentary. Earthlings, and I'm not really too big on reading, but I did read as I didn't know what was happening to me, and I spoke to a relative I didn't speak to in a long time. She was like, sounds like you becoming vegan. I was like, nah, I'm not vegan. Like I was playing with that for a minute. Like I was like, I just don't eat meat. I don't eat cheese. She was like, yeah, you sound like you're vegan. I didn't want to embrace that word. But she was like, go read the Engine 2 diet by Rip Epstein or whatever. He took 28 Brooklyn firefighters and then ran all their stats and their weight and their everything. And he put them on a 28-day strictly raw plant-based diet for 28 days and then took all their vitals again.
Wow.
And, yeah, it was an easy read. I read it on a flight and I was like, whoa, I was impressed. So I did that for 28 days. I actually went longer, 60 days. There was no salt, no oil, no sugar, just straight raw food. That's how I started to get into the raw aspect of it, the raw foods of it. But yeah, I definitely recommend that book.
Me, it was Cowspiracy.
Oh, so yeah, that was a
good one. Yeah, Cowspiracy. Enzo, any
what the hell?
What the hell? Okay. Okay. What the hell? Awesome. Any special messages you want to make sure that you deliver to the viewers? We're in our final like 13 minutes. I want to make sure that if there was anything that you wanted to relay to folks that are listening or anyone that's going to catch the replay, that we get those messages out right now. Whether it's about the businesses, whether it's about, just personal journey, anything that you feel is important for the viewers to know.
Go ahead, Enzo.
I just want to acknowledge everyone for sticking through with what's around us with this virus. We did an awesome job as far as basically uniting together, staying together. You stepping up and having these podcasts is very helpful for people watching, people curious on
You're welcome.
Vegan is, how to start a vegan restaurant, and also just to stick it out. Everything is going to be okay at the end of the day. We just gotta, when they say through all the rainy days, there's always going to be a sunny day right after it. So we just have to embrace it, and we just got to stick together, and everything is going to be okay.
One day at a time, absolutely. Vinny.
Yeah. What do I want to lead with? I want to lead with like the word that coming to me is selflessness. And you guys are servants. We're all servants. You know what I mean? So we've been serving Land of Kush, Sprout. We're here, and what I gather, yes, it does feed our families and stuff, but I have a feeling we're not all in it for the monetary gain of it, because running a restaurant is crazy. Like you gotta be some kind of crazy, like you said, dealing with people, and we're feeding people, and we're feeding a lot of people. So I think being selfless in a time, especially in a time of crisis, is important. You know, to really go out of your way and do something nice for somebody. Take the time. You know, I've been actually taking time, like check on my neighbors, like go see who my neighbors are. You know what I'm saying? Before this, nobody like we might have said, "Hello, yo, how you doing?" But you know, I'm taking time to introduce myself to my neighbors, seeing if they need anything. You know, you never know who's hurting right now, who's not. You know, and you know, feed people, man. Food is a powerful gift. You know, you always want to meet the chef who made this food. It was good or bad. You like, yo, who made that food? Yo, this was banging. Who made that food? Yo, it was nasty. Who made that food? You know, so food is a powerful tool, man. It changed my life. It brought me to a whole new place I didn't even know existed. You know, so yeah, just be of service. You know, especially in this time we're in now. You know, that's really what's coming up for me. We're committed to feeding people worldwide. You know, we want to continue our mission of feeding people. You can find us on gangstervegan.com if you want to donate, even if it's just send some love, a shout out, you know, send some rice, some beans, or whatever. You know, we're going to put it to good use. You know, there's a lot of people out there that's hurting right now. You know, they were hurting before, but they might be even more hurting now. So if you're in a privileged situation to provide for others, I think you should. You know, now is the time. And thank you for having me on here. And thank you, Enzo. Man, I appreciate you guys for all that you do. Keep being
no. Thank you for taking the time out. I know how restaurateur schedules are, you know, so this is definitely an honor. And for the any of the courses and things, they can go to gangstervegan.com to find all of that that you were talking about, courses, lessons, and things like that. Great. If there aren't any questions out there, I'm going to that was my daughter, 8-year-old vegan.
Yo, she snuck up. You ain't even see her.
She always has to give her debut. But she's 8-year-old. She's been vegan since the womb, so it is beautiful that you could do that. Again, we want to thank Jane Unchained News for allowing us this platform to have this discussion, and special thanks to our sponsors, the Welfare World, Veg Fund, and Women Funders and Animal Rights. Definitely follow me, NaijhaSpeaks.com. That is my YouTube channel. We will be doing broadcasts like this at least 2-3 times a week. And follow Jane Unchained News for her live coverage on different topics, all things vegan. Again, download your free vegan starter guide, African American Vegan Starter Guide by Tracy McWhirter, who's a 35 plus year vegan. So lots of interviews, recipes, and important information in this guide. Appreciate everyone. Stay safe, and peace out.
Peace. Thank you, guys.
Peace. Love y'all. Peace.